Hi everyone, we'll make this really quick. We're talking about our workouts for the new phase. We've got 6 days of programming, which is different than we've done in the past. So the way it'll work out over the course of our 4 weeks, so full month of programming, is week 1, you'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 through our days. Week 2 will start with day 6, which is our second conditioning day. Then we have push 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, back to conditioning 6, and then back through again. So over the course of the full month, we end up getting the same amount of work of everything. But if you end up coming on Mondays, you get a push, conditioning, pull, push. So you're not getting all 4 push days of that month. You end up kind of switching through it. So people that come on different days aren't doing, or on the same day every week, aren't doing the exact same thing every single day. Just to give ourselves a little bit more variety. We have the same kind of thing that we talked about in the past, where day 1 is our push with high volume, 2 is our pull with intensity. Conditioning day, this first one is going to be our aerobic conditioning, and all of our conditioning days start with a strong folk style movement. So our day 3 conditioning there is our lower body, so we're doing holds with sandbags and then cleans in our next block, whereas our day 6 has more of an anaerobic, so shorter sprints, higher intensity during each of those works, and that one's going to be paired with more of an upper body movement, so we're doing sled pushes and sled pulls. Day 4 is our intensity push day, and then day 5 is our volume pull day, so we're alternating through that. But then we start the next week with our conditioning, again, different conditioning from that day 3 like I just mentioned. So we're going to get a little bit of everything as we go through these. The whole goal for this phase of programming is intended towards people that are doing the bench, squat, and deadlift lift events. Now, if they don't come to those, they're still going to get the same amount of work and it's still going to be great. But the people that are planning on coming to those lifts, it will kind of tailor specifically to peak them at the time of their lifting event, which you'll see kind of in the sheet that I have sent out. It kind of has the whole overview of what we're looking at for our program. The way that our program is going to work as well in terms of the warm-ups is a little bit different. Day 1, 2, 3 are all going to be 3 different warm-ups, and then they'll repeat the same style of warm-up for 4, 5, and 6, just so that it kind of changes things up a little bit, keeps people on their toes and a little more engaged as we go. So our volume days are volume days are our AMRAP. So I have it written on the board, which we'll talk about in a second, but no mobility as a group. There will be mobility kind of thrown into the warm-up as you work through it. But we'll start out quick chat about the workout on the board, quick group discussion of the question of the day, and then straight into our AMRAP for 8 minutes. The idea is that we're already getting a lot of work done in the workout itself in terms of like high volume stuff. So we don't have to do a whole lot of prep for it. The warm-up itself comes from your first set or 2 of the workout, which means that we have to get straight into it so we have enough time to work through them. Day 2 are our intensity days. Intensity days are going to be similar to what we've done before. Warm up with mobility and group discussion, then straight into your A series with your activation paired with it, just to give ourselves more time to build up the intensity of it and kind of using those first few sets to get some warm up and activation with our paired exercise. Days 3 and 6 are the conditioning days. Those are going to be done with our gym lengths and our widths. We'll do starting with the widths, so we can do question of the day and everything at the same time. Doing our dynamic stuff, lunges, rotations, sweeps, quad and reach, all that stuff that we've done in the past. Feel free to mix that up as much as you want to for those, so kind of have fun with it, which Brendan will talk about, I'm sure. And then once you finish that, about 8 to 10 minutes, then we'll do 3 to 4 minutes of gym lengths, so kind of 3 different lanes, going through some jogs and back pedals, some skips, shuffles, karaoke, stuff that gets the heart rate up a lot more, so that we can get straight into our strong folk section right after that. And then it will basically repeat. So day 4 is that volume, so we have that little intensity, so we have that mobility, and then straight into your A series. And then day 5 is our volume day, so we have that kind of AMRAP section to start, and then into our workout from there. And then day 6 is that gym length, or widths, and then lengths as well. That's kind of the only differences. As we go through the programming, you'll see it on a sheet that I sent out as well. The primary exercise, excluding the hand release pull-ups, all the primary exercises are going to stay the same over the course of the full 4 weeks. Then the B series, so this kind of secondary exercises, will alternate after 2 weeks. So we'll do 2 weeks of one exercise, 2 weeks of another one for the total of the 4. And then our conditioning will change every time. I've worked it out so we have, first day of the week, we're gonna do like a sprint style core work. And then the second one is gonna be an AMRAP, and then a Tabata, and then an EMOM, and then a ladder, and then it kind of alternates through that. So each time you do the day 1 push, it won't be the exact same style of conditioning. Same as we've done in the past, like it's no different, it's just keeps some more variety for those. Cool, I think that's it for those. Now, the workouts themselves, we are shifting into, a performance and GPP model, which I've written up here, which is kind of hard to see, but we're splitting the group kind of. We have one stream of programming that is more towards people that are confident with the movements, they feel comfortable loading up the weight and challenging themselves, whereas the GPP is people that are newer to the gym or just newer to whatever movement is being done if they haven't done it before. GPP is kind of their stream. GPP is general physical preparedness or preparation. So that's more kind of accumulation. The way that we're going to differentiate it and kind of explain it is that performance is your ability to express your strength in the movement, whereas GPP is your ability to build volume. So it's like accumulation of the movement, whereas the performance is how you can express it, either explosively, with more intensity, with more control, that sort of thing. So that's kind of how we're dividing it. An example of this is Monday's workout. We have our day 1 high volume push day. We're working through barbell squats. We've got, for our performance group, we have 3 to 4 sets. Now, we want to make sure that when we're talking about these, the 3 to 4 sets are working sets. So it's not your total, it's the number of sets that are challenging. So it's something we need to get into kind of the habit of really preaching about is if you do 3 total sets, your first one was the bar, and the second one was 10s, and the third one was heavy, you really only did 1 working set there. So these 3 to 4 sets are 3 to 4 difficult, challenging sets. So if you do 1 warm-up and 3 working sets, perfect, you're good. If you do 5 total sets with warm-up and 4 working sets, awesome. But it needs to be like kind of across the board from us as coaches, coming across as these are sets that are hard for you to complete, not counting warm-up sets. So make it difficult as we go through. 3 to 4 sets of 8 reps, reps in reserve of 1 to 2, tempo 1, 1, 1, 1. That's just controlled, moving consistently through it. Now your GPP stream is in the blue here. We have goblet squats, 3 to 4 sets, same idea. They're working sets, they should be tough, of 8 to 10 reps, and then our reps in reserve are 3 to 4. So the tough for these ones aren't going to be to the point of close to failure. We want to have at least 3 reps in reserve, which is just kind of building their foundation and their ability to do the movement versus actually pushing the intensity to being really close to failure. That's kind of the idea with this stream. And then 3 seconds down, so 3, 1, 1, 1, which is 3 seconds controlled on that descent. That's our A series. Now, to keep it easy for people to understand and read, I've kept it all the same colors. So performance is always purple for today, and then GPP is always blue. You can alternate this. Just make sure it's like clearly defined as one and the other, so it's not multiple random colors, just so we're aware on those. The B series is that incline dumbbell bench press. Everyone's doing the same one. Sorry, really windy. Everyone's doing the same one. That's why I wrote both here. But the difference is in the rep scheme and the tempo and the reps in reserve. Same thing, 3 to 4 sets, 1 to 2 reps in reserve, 2-second tempo, so that is 2 seconds down. Whereas our GPP stream has 3 to 4 sets, 8 to 10 reps, and 3 to 4 reps in reserve. Same as we had up here, we've added that 3-second tempo as well, so increasing it a little bit slower than our incline bench. The idea with that longer tempo is there's more time under tension, which allows them to connect with the muscles a little better, find kind of the movement pattern that we want, versus slower or lower tempo, so faster, making it easier for us to kind of just go through it randomly. And then I haven't written it out because I haven't made it up yet, but the core sprint is kind of at the end. Everyone will do the same kind of conditioning. If there is stuff in the conditioning at the end that's like blatantly should be different, I will make note of that, and you can write that as like a separate side. But for the most part, that sprint will stay the same for everybody. You'll see over here, the warm-up, I've written it up for our volume day, is our 8-minute AMRAP. We're doing goblet squats, weighted ankle mobility, push-ups, and machine. The way that works is we've got an exercise that physically preps us directly for our A series. We then have some mobility, which will benefit the A series as well. Some push-up isos to create a little bit of volume for the B series exercises, as well as just getting people comfortable holding positions and finding some intensity in an isometric. And then our machine or skips as that heart rate elevator, temperature, body temperature, all of that stuff. Get ourselves physically prepped and ready to go. So this will change day to day depending on what the intent is for the day. But I want us to try and get in the habit of explaining what the intent is between the performance and the GPP, and being aware of who in the class is doing which one. Easiest way we can talk about this is, okay, here's our performance and here is our GPP. If you are super confident with back squats, you're gonna do the performance. If you're like, a little hesitant, we'll probably end up doing our goblet squats. And if you have no idea what you're doing, we'll probably end up going through those goblet squats as well. If you're really intent on building the form of our barbell squats, we're okay with doing this one. But keep in mind that that's not gonna be necessarily the consistent intent for you throughout the entirety of this phase. You'll probably get more out of this goblet squat. But it is also dependent on what they want to get out of the workout. If they wanna work on the skill, they're welcome to do the performance side. If they wanna get a workout in, they're probably better off doing that GPP. And then just keeping an eye on people and be like, you probably shouldn't be in this one, you should probably be in this one. And then saying that nicer, obviously, than like, you shouldn't be doing this. Keeping that in mind, just so that we can be a little more on top of like who is doing what for the most benefit for themselves. The last thing I think I need to talk about is the tempo, just so that we're all kind of on the same page of what each of the numbers is. The first number is always the eccentric, so that is the lengthening of the muscle. If we think about a row, let's say, it's the controlled descent on the way down. It's a back squat, it's the controlled descent, right? The quads are lengthening under load. That's always the first number. The second number is the pause after the eccentric. So on a squat, that's the pause at the bottom. And then this third number is the concentric, so the way up, the shortening of the muscles. Most of the time, we're not gonna have a tempo for it. It's either 1 of just control or 0, which is explosive, moving really fast. And then the last number is the pause after the concentric. So one that we have in there eventually, I think, is for the rows. We're gonna be doing a 2-second pause, which is gonna be 2 seconds here. So we do the concentric pull up, we pause for 2 seconds, then we go down for 3 seconds, pause for 1 second after that, lengthening of the muscles, and then we come back up. Most of the time with like squats and push movements, it's pretty simple. The first number is always the descent. The rowing and pulling movements is usually the one that gets people mixed up a little bit. So just make sure you think about the tempo as eccentric, control with the length, pause after the lengthening, the shortening, and the pause after the shortening of the muscles. So when you see them, especially on the pull movements, just make sure we're like clear on exactly what that is. And if you're not sure, let me know. I can send you a message pretty easily about that. That was a lot. I think that's everything. And I'm sorry that took so long. But yeah, take a look at the sheet that I sent out. It's got all of the workouts for this full month, which is leading up to, ideally, the bench press lift event, which everyone, if they're following this program correctly, will be peaked right for it and be ready for it. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks. Bye.